Imagine a young woman. She is just 17, yet she carries the weight of France on her shoulders. This is Joan of Arc, a simple peasant girl who claims to hear voices from God. She will rise to lead armies, crown a king, and become one of the most enduring icons in history. But her story is not one of easy victories or straightforward sainthood. It is a story of faith, courage, and ultimately, tragedy. Joan of Arc's tale begins in the small village of Domremy, nestled in the French countryside. The year is 1412. France is embroiled in the 100 Years' War, a brutal conflict with England that has ravaged the nation for decades. Joan, like other girls her age, tends to the fields and sheep. But her life takes a dramatic turn when she experiences her first vision. At the age of 13, she sees the archangel Michael, bathed in celestial light. He speaks to her of God's will and her destiny to save France. These visions continue, growing stronger and more insistent. Joan sees not only Michael, but also St. Margaret and St. Catherine. They urge her to seek out the uncrowned King of France, Charles VII, and help him reclaim his rightful throne from the English. Joan is just a girl, with no military training and little knowledge of the world outside Domremy. Yet the voices are undeniable. She believes with unwavering certainty that God has chosen her for a divine mission. The 100 Years' War had torn France apart. The English, with their powerful allies, controlled much of the country. Charles, disinherited and doubting his own claim, seemed powerless to stop them. Joan, armed with her unwavering faith and the divine instructions from her visions, resolved to change the course of history. She was determined to meet Charles, convince him of her mission, and lead the French army to victory. Joan's journey to Charles's court was fraught with danger. France was a battleground, and travel for a young, unescorted woman was perilous. Yet she persisted, driven by the conviction that God was on her side. When she finally reached Charles, she impressed him with her piety and determination. He agreed to provide her with a small army and allowed her to accompany them to Orléans, a city strategically vital to the French cause. Orléans had been under siege for months by the English. The French army, demoralized and on the verge of defeat, saw Joan's arrival as a beacon of hope. Clad in white armor and carrying a banner emblazoned with the fleur-de-lis, she rode through the ranks, inspiring the soldiers with her courage and faith. The Siege of Orléans. Joan, though untrained in military strategy, possessed an uncanny ability to inspire and lead. She rode into battle alongside her men, her courage unquestioned. She was wounded during the fighting, but continued to rally her troops. Under Joan's leadership, the French fought with renewed vigor and determination. After a 9-day siege, they achieved the impossible. They broke the English stranglehold on Orléans, a victory that would turn the tide of the war. The victory at Orléans was a turning point in the 100 Years' War and cemented Joan's status as a national heroine. She had achieved what seemed impossible, breathing new life into the French resistance. With renewed confidence and under Joan's guidance, the French army went on to win a string of victories. Finally, Charles VII, accompanied by Joan, marched into Reims, the traditional site of French coronations. There in the Grand Cathedral, Charles was crowned King of France. What was the price of victory? Joan, the peasant girl from Domremy, had fulfilled her divine mission. She had saved France from English domination and secured Charles's rightful place on the throne. Yet, her story does not end with the triumphant ringing of church bells and the joyous cheers of the French people. Dark clouds gathered on the horizon. Joan's meteoric rise had earned her powerful enemies, and they were already plotting her downfall. They would stop at nothing to silence the woman who had dared to defy them.